Good evening. Disregard what my voice sounds like or the constant sniffling. I have a flu. So, bear with me. How many of you have ever held a gun? How many of you have ever shot a gun? How many of you have ever heard a gun, but it was unexpected? You get different reactions when you're in control of a situation versus not being in control of a situation. School shootings. Unfortunately, my crew was one of the many crews here from Palm Beach who were dispatched down to the shooting in Parkland earlier in the week. It is the first time that I personally have had to work a scene of that magnitude and something dealing with students, with children. And it was something that concerned me. It concerned me from a personal perspective because, like the rest of you all, I'm a student. So the idea of someone coming onto the campus and basically terrorizing everyone who's there, because by definition, terrorization or terrorizing is to intimidate, scare, or use violent tactics to intimidate someone or control a situation. So, for us as students to think about the possibility of a gunman coming onto campus, it's a very scary thought. For myself, it is doubly, excuse me, for myself, it is doubly troubling or concerning because my life partner is also a teacher at an elementary school. So the idea or the thought of a gunman walking onto the campus of an elementary school and now putting teachers in danger, putting students in danger, is very concerning, very troubling. So my opinion of the school shootings or situations of that nature is that, number one, I believe that there should be not stricter gun laws, but there should be stricter background checks that are done in order for people to purchase guns. If there is any history of mental illness in a person's background, or any signs or symptoms that would lead one to believe that there may be a diagnosis of mental illness or mental health issue, that person should be further evaluated before determining whether or not they are legally able to carry a gun. I also believe that teachers should be armed and trained in self-defense and trained to utilize guns so that they're able to, in the event of another situation such as the one that occurred, they're able to potentially take down the gunman or deter the gunman. Because if you think about it, you have in Florida, in South Florida at least, you have most classrooms have anywhere between 15 and 30 students per class with one teacher. Some elementary schools still have teachers' aides, but not all classes do. So you have one adult who's responsible for 30 children. It's very hard to convince young children to follow directions the first time, and when they're afraid, it's even harder to get them to listen. So, number one, stricter background checks as it pertains to gun purchases and mental health issues, prior criminal history, whether it be violent, non-violent, felony, or anything less. I believe that teachers should be teachers and administrators should be armed and trained in self-defense. I also believe that there should be a larger presence of um, police security, even military veterans who are patrolling campuses and areas that are close to schools, so that in the event of an incident or a crime that may happen not on the campus necessarily but somewhere nearby, that you do have protection for those students. Because when a kid goes to school, they're there for about 7 hours out of the day. For those 7 hours that they're not with their parents, you're expecting that they're going to be safe. You're expecting that they're going to come home. They're going to come home whole. That you're not going to receive a phone call saying that there was a mass shooting at the school. Someone was able to somehow make it onto campus with a weapon, open fire, and take the lives of students and staff. So, with that, um, it is my belief, but based on studies that that I've read in the past and fairly recently, the number of individuals who have dealt with or who have been um, captured and convicted after incidents of mass shootings, as it pertains to school shootings, is less than 15%, because it's usually that they take their own lives, or when they are captured, they're usually captured due to deadly force on the part of the authorities. Which, in that situation, it's a danger for the police to go in unarmed or to go in with the intent of trying to negotiate and talk the shooter down. So, excuse me. So, my opinion, and I believe that if you take the time and do a little research, you may not necessarily agree with my ideas for what should be done, but I'm pretty sure that we can agree that something needs to be done, because it's not fair to anyone to have to deal with that type of situation. It's not fair to the first responders who have to show up and deal with those types of things. It's not fair to the teachers who are held responsible for the students in their care, and it's not fair to the students to have to deal with those types of things when they go to school. It's hard enough being a teenager. It's hard enough being a kid as it is, without having to deal with the idea or the thought of someone taking your life.